These are all the vehicles added on day 1 of the Bottom Dollar Bounties GTA Online DLC, and these are the vehicles that we're going to get in the drip feed. Let's go over everything, their prices, the release order, and everything that you need to know in this video. This video is brought to you by GTAcars.net, the #1 place for vehicle information for GTA 5 that I own and run. From lap times to tier lists and advanced metadata to informative articles, it's got everything that you need and more. Go straight there with the link in the description and pinned comment. So I'm going to start by quickly going over the day 1 cars, and we're starting with something that's a little bit it's stretching that line of day 1 because the Pipistrello technically is a drip feed car. But it's available to GTA Plus members now, a week early. So we know that this is going to be the first sort of drip feed car. Can you get your fishing rod out of the way, please? So the Pipistrello, it's going to cost you $2.9 million, or it's free. He's just dropped it. Or it's free if you've got GTA Plus. You don't need to have GTA Plus because I don't think it's going to be being a top supercar anytime soon, but you'll see it all in the testing video obviously when I get to it. But yeah, I thought, I was kind of hoping they'd stopped doing this with offering cars early with GTA Plus. They previously did it with the Brioso RA HSW and the Divest 8 HSW, and then they never did it again. They've brought it back because it's Rockstar. But yeah, this will be out first next week, but it is technically out now for GTA Plus members. So onto the actual proper day 1 cars. We've got three sports cars, starting with the Paragon S. Both of these two cars have Imani tech, by the way. So the Paragon S, this will set you back $2 million. Again, sports class. And then the Envisage, also in the sports class, this will set you back $2.5 million. So 2 Imani Tech sports cars, probably going to be alright in terms of pace. That's how they normally are. But yeah, those aren't the ones that we're really going to be pushing for the top spots. This one, on the other hand, might be. The Niobe, also in the sports class, it's going to set you back $1.8 million. Well, it's almost 1.9 really. And it's also got an HSW upgrade that's going to set you back $1.8 million. So the HSW upgrade is basically a hidden cost. So basically the car costs $3.6 million, and that's how they get you these days with those high HSW costs for those vehicles. But the Niobe looks like it's going to be very quick with the HSW upgrades on it. So you'll see for the testing videos, make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff for the lap times and top speeds once I've done the testing. I'll be doing that this week. The next car we've got is the Euros X32. This is a coupe. It's in the coupes class, also HSW. So this might be the new quickest coupe. Might take the top spot there as well. With HSW upgrades, you just never know. HSW upgrades can either be really quick or they can just really not do what you want them to. But yeah, there's a good chance that we might be seeing some top contenders in sports and coupes with these two cars respectively. $1.2 million for the HSW upgrade for the Euros X32. The car itself will cost you $1.5 million. So really the car is $2.7 million in full if you want the full cost of it. And then the Coquette D1, our first Sport Classic DLC car for quite a while in terms of normal raceable cars, for actually quite a number of years. 1.5 million on the dot for this one. Beautiful car. There's no way it doesn't have HSW or anything, and there's no way it's going to be at the top of the Sports Classics class, but beautiful car. And I'm looking forward to driving that one and seeing what it's like to drive. These are all the Legendary Motorsport vehicles, and there's no other Legendary Motorsport vehicles coming in the drip feed, so all of the Legendary Motorsport cars are released day 1. Obviously, Pipistrello being the sort of the one that's blurring that line a little bit from day 1 and drip feed because of the GTA Plus nonsense. The only car on Southern San Andreas is the Yosemite 1500. It's in the off-road class. It's going to be it costs you 1.2 million. Again, all of these cars are available now day 1. it's an off-roader, you know, it's an off-road truck. There's a lot of them now. It's probably going to have similar performance to the rest of them. This won't be coming with the testing video this week. It will be coming with the off-road class testing video. I'll save it for that alongside the Terminus from the previous DLC, and all of the other off-road vehicles will be fully tested as well, newly tested. So that's where you'll see that. And then the 3 emergency class vehicles that are available day 1. The Greenwood Cruiser. Oh, I've done the wrong order. Impaler SZ Cruiser first, $4.7 million for this one with a $3.5 million trade price. Then the Greenwood Cruiser, $4.9 million for this one with a $3.7 million trade price. And then the Dorado Cruiser, which is $5.005 million and $3.7 for the trade price. So, you know, I don't think we expected anything different with the prices of these emergency class vehicles. You can't do anything in terms of, you know, racing them in terms of the emergency class. You can't race with these vehicles. One important thing to note is that Rockstar have changed it a little bit. And if you buy these vehicles, you can't, well, you can sell them, but you're not going to get any money back for them. Normally you get your 60% of the purchase price back when you sell vehicles, but not with these, and not with any of the other emergency vehicles. So if you bought one of the previous emergency vehicles, the police cars, before this DLC, you can still sell it for 60% of the purchase price. For all emergency vehicles from this point on, all police vehicles, you're not going to be able to get your money back. You can sell them for $0. So really scummy, to be honest. Because if you're going to pay $5 million, basically make sure that you want these cars before you buy them. There will be an emergency vehicles testing video that will contain them all, but obviously you can't actually race with them. But I will eventually be getting to the emergency class, and you'll know, which ones are the quickest when I go through the rest of the classes in the second half of the year. So yeah, those are your new emergency vehicles, kind of based on newer vehicles added to the game recently that aren't in the police variants. And then we've got the drip feed. And there's not an awful lot of drip feed. Only 6 vehicles in the drip feed for this DLC. 4 of them are on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. 2 of them are on Warstock. By the way, those police vehicles that are available day 1 are also on Warstock. So we'll start with the Southern San Andreas drip feed. The Castigator is going to be first up. This is the order that they're released, by the way. So the way that it works with the drip feed, they're released in this order on each individual site, but we don't know which one comes up first. The Dominator FX, for example, and the police version of the Dominator FX might be released at the same time, but we just know that the Pizza Boy isn't going to be coming out before the Castigator. This is the order that they're going to be released on the sites. And with only 6 vehicles, that's basically 1 per month for, probably for GTA Plus members to get it for free every month. That's basically what they do with the drip feed these days. So yeah, Castigator first up. This is in the SUVs class. It's going to cost you $1.65 million. Probably not going to be able to do anything in SUVs in terms of performance going up against the HSW stuff, but you never know. It might be up there. Depending on the performance. We'll test it when it releases, obviously, and you'll get a testing video for that. Obviously, the testing videos now are going to be updating the new testing videos that I've done in the new series, so you can look back at those original class videos for all the other cars, and then the new testing videos will give you the new cars to those classes, basically. Dominator FX, this is going to be next up. This is in the muscle class, and it's going to set you back $1.55 million. Looks really good, I think it's Dominator 10 in the game file, so it's the 10th different Dominator we've got. But yeah, Dominator FX, it looks pretty nice. I think it's going to be a popular one when this releases, but who knows how long you're going to have to wait. It might be 2-3 months down the line, you never know. Next up, the Pizza Boy. It's making a return, and if I've been saying over the last few years now that we've basically been getting GTA 6 cars in GTA Online, and if this isn't the perfect example of that, then I don't know what is. Because obviously the Pizza Boy was a vehicle from GTA Vice City. It was in other games as well, but that was where it started, and yeah, we're going back to Vice City in GTA 6, so obviously this was going to make a return. This is going to set you back only $195,000. It's in the motorcycles class. It does have a trade price of $146,000 for what, maybe they'll do Pizza Boy missions, who knows. But yeah, this is going to be releasing in GTA Online, and yeah, all of these are 100%, especially the emergency vehicles. They're all 100% GTA 6 vehicles just given to us in GTA Online. Which is, I have mixed feelings about that, because it's kind of like the fresh new vehicles that I would have experienced in GTA 6. I've kind of had them already, but there you go. Finally, for the Southern San Andreas Super Autos vehicles, we've got the Vorschlaghammer. This is in the Sedans class. Bit of a mouthful for the name. Vorschlaghammer, that's how I've been told you meant to say it properly. And $1.8 million this is basically going to cost you. Sedans, it might be able to get up to the top sedans. The sedans is the only class now that doesn't have HSW cars, so it might be, depending on the performance. We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, I'll do test it when it releases. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking car. But we'll have to wait and see how it can perform when it releases. And that's going to be one of the last ones, so you're going to have to wait a while for that one. And then on Warstock, the two drip feed cars on Warstock, we've got the Dominator FX Interceptor, so basically the police version of the Dominator FX that we just saw. This will be basically $5 million again. All of these police cars are coming out to be $5 million, with a $3.7 million trade price for that one. And the Impaler LX Cruiser, again, another $5 million. It's 4.7 with a 3.5 million trade price. So the two new Impalers that we got in the last DLC, the LX and the SZ, both have police variants now. So yeah, again, probably just GTA 6 cars that are getting put into GTA Online. But yeah, we've also got, supposedly, as we see them having a nice little break over there. Thank you to the Project Homecoming team for sorting this out for me. Some new liveries for the Tropos. Interesting that they've added just a random, seemingly, new liveries on the Tropos. I don't quite know why, but there you go. Maybe they'll be released as some sort of event later on down the line. And we've also got a few extras as well, because there's been new drift cars added. So the bottom dollar bail enforcement van. This isn't a drift car, but this is it's technically it's a burrito, and it's a burrito bail enforcement is the official name of it. And it's not in the vans class, as you might expect, like all the other burritos are. It's in the emergency class. So it's got all the sort of police dials and stuff, and it's basically the vehicle that you use for the new bail enforcement missions, which aren't that great, to be honest, but that's a story for another time. Yeah, it's in the emergency class, so the emergency class has gotten a lot of DLC vehicles over the last few DLCs, from going from like very few to many. The emergency vehicles testing video, it's going to have a lot of fun stuff in, I think. So yeah, that's the sort of the mission vehicle. And then we've got 4 drift cars that have been added. The Nebula Turbo Drift version, that's obviously Sports Classics. The Cypher in the Sports class. The Sentinel Classic Wide Body, also in the Sports class. And the Vorschlaghammer. So obviously this is the one that's not available day one. This will probably be releasing when the Vorschlaghammer actually releases to the game as its normal version. It will also come with a drift upgrade as well. Remember, with the drift cars, they're all going to be available in the drift races, but you don't need your own versions of them to be able to use them in drift races. The performance is the same. Engine, transmission, turbo, all that stuff. It doesn't apply to drift cars, so you don't need to convert your car. You don't need to convert your Cypher into a drift Cypher. You can use the stock drift Cypher in a drift race and it'll perform exactly the same. So there are some different liveries, I believe, for some of these drift cars in comparison to their original variants. But yeah, in general, you don't need to use them if you want to do drift stuff in races. It's only if you want to have those cars and own them for free roam and drift around in free roam. So those are all of your cars. We've got all the day one cars, with the Pipistrello being day one and drip feed at the same time. we got the extras, we got some new liveries, and we got the drip feed. So it's an interesting mix. I think the DLC itself is kind of mediocre. I'm kind of happy that they've released a lot of the cars day one, so I'm going to have a lot of work on my hands over the next few days. Thank you again to the Project Homecoming team for making this possible to showcase all these cars available for you. But yeah, I will be testing all of these vehicles over the next few days, so keep an eye out, make sure you're subscribed and whatnot. I'll be testing the drip feed cars when they release, giving you all the performance updates. Once that bulk of testing is done, I'll get back onto the class specific vehicle testing. Obviously the off-roads class is part of that, and I'll be going through all the other classes, even the non-raceable stuff as well, like emergency, like service, like military. So everything will get tested over the next few months. So yeah, and if you want early testing information on any of the drip feed cars or the new cars, you can get that on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member via the join button at the bottom. And basically you get the lap times and top speeds in text form a little bit early. Doesn't make the video come any shorter, it doesn't take longer for the video to arrive by doing that, so nobody else, you're not going to miss out or anything by not doing that. But if you want to get it as quickly as possible and support the work that I do with testing all these cars, give Patreon a thought, because there's a lot of perks on there, so you can give it a read through and check it out. Also, all of these cars are available on GTAcars.net as well. GTAcars.net has had an update for adding the compare vehicles feature, so you can also compare all of these vehicles side by side with the comparison tool and any vehicle that you want. A lot of updates to GTAcars.net recently, so check that out also. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Those are all the vehicles for the bottom dollar bounties DLC. I'll get to testing cars right now, and you'll see the video for that soon. But yeah, I suppose we got to show the back end of all the cars as well. We'll do that in a second. But yeah, for the most part, those are all the vehicles. Those are the orders they're going to release, the prices you're going to have to pay for them for the drip feed and day one. And yeah, it's time to see the back ends of these vehicles. So as we see the back ends of not only the cars, but the Project Homecoming team as well, there's two things to note. One of them is that we've actually had a change of car class, which is really, really weird. By the way, this car is made by Bolocan, which is only their second vehicle ever to exist in the game. The first one was the Prairie, back in the release of the game in 2013. And they've finally made another one. So, yeah, that's the Envisage, I think. Bolocan's second car. And then these are the two HSW cars. So it's these two with the Amani tech, the Paragon S and the Envisage. And then these two with HSW with the Niobe and the Euros X32 with big prices for those HSW updates as well. But yeah, we've had a car that changed its class. The Impaler SZ, for some bizarre reason, it used to be in the Sedans class. It was added in the last DLC, obviously, and it was added in the Sedans class. And in this DLC, Rockstar have changed the class of it. It's gone from Sedans to Muscle. So, obviously they can change the classes of cars, The Blister Compact is still in Sports rather than compacts, and the Moonbeam is still in muscle rather than vans. Why they changed the class of the Impaler SZ, I have no idea. But that's the only one they've changed. They haven't changed any of the other classes that we would have liked to have had changed. And the other thing to point out is the Castigator. That's this one. Even though it's a drip feed, and it is going to be made purchasable for everyone, it is available right now as the Tier 4 career reward for the Bounties DLC. Now, part of that, I think there's a time gate on it that you've got to do all of the bounties and they refresh once a day and all that kind of stuff, so you can't technically get it immediately. But yeah, there is a way to get it maybe early. Although knowing Rockstar, they'll probably release it for people to buy before you have the chance to be able to get it in the career reward unlock. So yeah, those are the two main points. Impaler SZ is now in muscle, even though I just did the Sedans testing video. The Impaler SZ is no longer part of that class, and it's in the muscle class instead. The lap times are still all the same and everything, but yeah, typical. I'll probably talk about, or maybe I'll mention it, where its new place is in the muscle class in the testing update video over in a few days' time. So there you go. Those are all the cars from the bottom dollar Bounties DLC. I think the cars are the best part about the whole DLC, to be honest. So, yeah, thank you all so much for the support, and thank you for everyone who supports me on Patreon, YouTube membership, with donations, whatever it might be. It's going to be a lot of hard work over the next few days to get all these cars tested, and over the next few months when I get the retesting done for all the other classes. But hopefully you'll enjoy watching, and hopefully you'll stay tuned, and make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one soon. One little extra thing to add to the end of this video as well is they did fix the Illusions headlight, so that's fixed, but the new Paragon S is also broken in a different way. As you can see, the titanium tip bore exhaust, and this supposedly happens on a different exhaust as well, there's space for it in the bodywork on the right hand side, and there is smoke coming on the right hand side, but there's no exhaust. The actual exhaust itself isn't there, so the smoke and the exhaust fumes are coming from mid-air. So just those little quality things that you expect from Rockstar these days. They did also fix the suspension for the Asterope GZ, so I'll have to be retesting that as well, just to make sure that the lap time is, you know, as it should be. It might get a little bit quicker because it does have the flag where it improves the body roll with the suspension mods. So, but it's not going to suddenly get into a better tier or anything. And they've also removed all the PC unknown races that, you know, the people were being able to make on their own. Those are all dead. And from what I saw in the chat earlier, advanced catch-up appears to be fixed as well. So a few little updates right at the end there. But yeah, attention to detail isn't Rockstar's strong suit, I agree.